It's Operation Babble with Mike Shrews. It's pop culture, music, movies, TV too. It's time to explore life. It's Operation Babble time.
Babble time.
All right.
Well, hello, Michael, and hello, Internet.
Intertrolls.
Did you miss me? Because we're in the end game now. No, too early for that. Too early for that. So what is up, sir?
Not much right now. I have a beef with the fucking internet.
Oh shit! Where's the beef?
And a beef with society.
Ooh, we're getting right into it then. We're gonna get
beef with fucking filmmakers now.
Oh shit! We are about to get real salty.
So, and this is something I want to express my feeling on this, and then get your input on it too, because I'm sure you might be on the same page as me. You might not.
Okay.
If you're not, it makes for even better entertainment. So, and I'm gonna use Endgame as a reference here, guys, just because it's what is like
the most
biggest
popular
thing
right
now. So,
yeah.
But there are a ton of other fucking films that I have realized have been doing this over the past few years. And what it comes down to is basically like what John had said before: bad writing. In movies. So what I've come across lately is a lot of YouTube videos diving into the Russo brothers explain this for Endgame, or the Russo brothers explain this for Endgame. And for me, I'm like, if you do a good movie, you shouldn't have to go and fucking explain it. Like I even watched a video where they're explaining things, and I was just saddened that it's like, why didn't you just put that in the movie? Why do you have to make everyone, like, even as a filmmaker, I'm kind of like, I get the whole, okay, you're supposed to figure some shit out by yourself, type deal.
There is a difference between watching a movie and them going, hey, we're not going to show the monster. We're going to let you interpret that.
Right.
Or like, we're going to let you interpret, like, is this person actually crazy? Or, you know, if it's like a psychological thriller, it's like, are they crazy? Mm-hmm. Or is this actually happening to them? Because some places want to do that so they can fuck with you.
Right.
But there's a complete difference between doing that and just completely just being so lazy or not having the time to put that into the movie. Like, you had the opportunity. Like, come on, it's better. Like, get out of here. So I mean, there's complete difference between, hey, you know, we're gonna omit this for the sake of you getting to use your creativity and your own mind to freak you out or put it together, versus like, no, we just didn't put it in.
And see, though, with like horror movies or thriller movies, that's a little more acceptable.
Yeah.
When you're doing an action movie or like a fantasy movie. Well, sometimes in fantasy movies, depending on what it is.
But there's really just no reason. There's no reason for it.
Right. And the thing...
because it's really funny, because I have an example too, so I really want to hear which one yours is.
But so my example is, well, at least from the video I had watched earlier this morning. And I just did it because I was like, I'm sick of seeing all these fucking videos showing up with the title like fucking Russo brothers explain this or Marvel explains it. I'm like, why are we explaining shit after the fact?
It's because fanboys will fucking watch anything and be okay with it.
It's true. And that's one of the biggest problems I have with the internet and society right now, is because we're letting them get away with explaining it after the fact. It's not a fucking book.
Yep.
We don't need, like, you know, all the extra shit after the fact, you know.
Well, even worse
with this one too, with Endgame, it makes it worse too, because in the video I watched, the guy asked him, well, is it really the end? And they're like, yes, this is really the end of this. So with it being the real end of this, why not show everything? Why not close those? Why explain them in stupid interviews when I would love to see that shit?
That's dude. And it's like, I think, and it's really going to be funny, and it's really going to, because I sound like a lunatic in our end game discussion, and I understand that. But at the same time, I'm really hoping that like in a few months, or maybe it'll probably be more like a year, when everybody gets the box set and they watch all the way through and then get to the end and realize, oh yeah, you're not watching it in the movie theater with 50 people screaming and being obnoxious. You are having to let the movie entertain you by yourself at home.
Right.
And I think people are going to start coming around to my side. And
can I say too on that same aspect, like just and I'm going to use the word layman just as like a general description of
you don't need to qualify
filmmakers and shit, you know.
It's fine.
Of non filmmakers or non like film people, non comic booky people.
The ones who
like
haven't been
like
baptized in the hell that a movie set.
That's
like,
what I should say. Your general audience.
We haven't been baptized in the realm of movie sets and
like,
bullshit.
So I was just at Dollar General.
Oh, here we go.
And I was checking out, and the lady was like, we ended up getting into a discussion about the movie real quick. And I could tell by the way she was saying things like she wasn't like a huge nerd of the Marvel
the general
culture.
Audience.
And
she was just a random
general audience person. And even she said that the story was everywhere. It just jumped. Yeah. And that made me feel so happy and sad inside at the same time. That the normal general audience can even see that. Yeah. And again, this isn't just attacking that one movie, but tons of movies do that nowadays.
Oh, Game of Thrones just did it.
Aquaman.
Last Jedi ruined it. Aquaman was terrible.
I have to go back and watch The Last Jedi because I've only seen it once and I didn't really take it in. So,
but I would also say
I
watch
remember
Force
the
Awakens
fight
first.
scene. Like with Rey and or not Rey.
It was Rey Kylo versus all the
Rey and Kylo.
Reds.
Yeah, and then
who I think you're supposed to assume is fucking the Knights of Ren, which I hope not.
Right.
Like, I hope that's not. But yeah, watch that fight scene, dude. Because a lot of people would argue and defend that movie because of that fight scene. They're like, "Oh, that was really cool."
That fight scene, and then when the ship blasts through the other ships,
the Lightspeed thing, which destroys.
That's really all I remember.
All the
besides,
yeah, and it destroys
like
all
Luke
the canon
disappearing and shit.
And it's pretty. That movie is it feels like a gigantic fuck you to fans, and it felt like a deliberate one too. It wasn't like I'm just an untalented writer who can't make a movie that's coherent and whatever. It was more like I'm actively gonna just make all the fanboys fucking cry because I hate them. Right. You know what I mean? Like. And that's kind of what the world feels like right now, is that everybody wants to shit on people who are smart. Like, you know what I mean? It's like scientists, fuck you. Like global warming doesn't exist. The world is flat and we're regressing, and fuck anti-vaxxers. Then you have, and then you have politics where it's just like, anybody with enough money, we'll be fine. The judicial system doesn't work. As long as you got enough money, you'll be fine. And then in movies and art and crafting, it's like, no, just make it pretty. And as long as it makes a bunch of money in the box office, nobody gives a shit. Speaking
of which too, like, cause I know we talked about with Endgame, we ended up going into the whole time travel bullshit, how they kind of like fucked themselves by trying to make themselves sound smarter because they knew what it would do.
It was very pretentious.
They were trying to explain it way too much, and then they still broke their own rules, basically. Yeah. So with that, like I've been watching Umbrella Academy, and I'm not gonna do any spoilers for it because I know you haven't watched it, and I'm only like 4 episodes in now. Okay. But that is a show that, and from the trailer, they deal with a time travel type scenario thing.
I know nothing about this show.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they do. I
know they have a monkey. There's like a monkey or something.
Yes, and the graphics for him are really fucking good for a show. Like
it looked very Rise of the Planet of the Apes or whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. Looks pretty good.
But they deal with time travel in a way that you should deal with time travel in a show or a movie. They don't fucking explain it.
Looper. It's one of the like only movies where I'm like Rian Johnson just knew what he was doing. It was just like,
did they try and explain it in Back to the Future or no? I don't remember.
I mean, in casual talk, you know, and just quick lingo, it's like, hey, we're doing this, and then we go back, and you can't, you know, don't talk to yourself, and like, you know, all the basic rules.
Basic, like Time Cop, you couldn't touch yourself in the past, or
just basic, just basic shit. But it was the same argument I just kept saying. It was just like, I think Endgame would have done better if they just hadn't bothered. Just do it. Right. Just fucking do it. Because no matter what you say, it's going to be bullshit, and you're going to break your rules anyway and fuck it all up.
And they spent a good, 3 minutes on that whole, like, explanation bullshit
easy.
type thing? Yeah.
Way longer than that, dude. Come on.
And then they do it later on in the movie, too, with the reality split.
Because you got to remember, there was the joke with pushing time through Scott, and then there was sending Hawkeye back, and then there was then there was just a full discussion,
right?
Which
technically, with Hawkeye taking the baseball mitt out of that one time, shouldn't that have made an alternate reality? All the mitt?
That's what I already said. Yeah,
then
I've
he would
already
have
said
to go and buy another mitt in that reality, and maybe that would change some shit, you know?
That's so fucking funny, dude. I did the exact same thing to Hannah, because lately, like, you know, people with anxiety tend to overanalyze anything.
Yeah.
And now with like a lot of this stuff, I always think about that shit in my own day. Like you know, because I chose not to get gas now, or like I waited a day to do this, or so imagine he takes that baseball glove, it's gone. The son needed it. You don't know the context. Maybe the son needed it that day, so he's got to go to a game.
Right.
Now Hawkeye and the wife. Okay, the wife is freaking out, so she has to go get him a glove before the game. She takes off. She's racing to the store. Boom, she gets in a car crash. You know what I mean? Anything
or maybe
could happen.
It was the day that he was gonna get the call to go and help out in Civil War. Yes.
Sure.
And then he doesn't get that call because he had to go to the store or some shit. You know, he doesn't show
anything.
up.
And it sounds really dumb, and people are like, well, that's nitpicking. It's like, no, again, because this storyline comes up, we ask these questions. Regardless of whether or not it's overanalyzing, nitpicky, stupid, it opens the door for these questions that shouldn't even be in this film. The same with, like, I mean,
the same can be said about almost every time travel movie, too, that tries to explain it. You know?
Yeah, and it was one of those things, again, like this movie, like you and Philip brought it up a bunch of times, like where we would talk about like certain scenes, and you were like, well, we needed it because it was good for Nebula's character growth for the next movie. And as soon as you say next movie, it's like, well, you've defeated the purpose.
That's another thing I want to get into too as well. So basically the whole first part I was trying to basically say is, we shouldn't need the directors or the studio or anybody to come back and explain why this happened or this happened or this happened in movies.
Exactly.
And I feel we're getting that a lot, mostly right now.
Because they're backpedaling.
Yeah,
they're realizing that the movie that they put out was not the movie that.
And that too, they're realizing people have a lot more questions that weren't answered within the resolve of the movie, and it's gonna affect the movie long term. Not only that, its longevity within the culture.
Yeah, but not only that, you ruined 3 of your other movies. Like, I mean, it's the number one thing I keep telling people. It's just like, the second you went back in time, or you do a prequel, or you do something, you are set to a standard of rules, and you are also set to a standard of a way things that are going to play out.
Especially when you create your own rules.
Yeah, that's even worse. And like, cause now people aren't gonna watch Avengers or Thor: Dark World, which, I mean, nobody should watch that movie anyway. It's okay, but you got that, and then you got Guardians 1, and it's like you're gonna watch those movies now, and you're not gonna just watch them for themselves. You're not gonna enjoy them as their own movies. You're gonna, when they do the posing thing, you're gonna go, oh man, this is when the dipshits show up and they're right there, and then they fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Like, good thing they just caught Loki, because doesn't he get away 5 seconds from now? They're like, no, that's an alternate timeline. It's like, no, it doesn't matter. We saw it, and that's what we're going to think about every time we watch that movie now.
Right.
It's fucking horseshit. It's absolutely horseshit. I don't know how they did it, but they retconned a bunch of their own shit immediately.
I mean, it was going to end up happening. Unfortunately, so here's another thing, too. Okay. Besides the fact that, you know, over-explain or not explaining in the movies and having to explain in their interviews and all that shit. And again, not just Endgame, I'm just using that as a base.
Yeah, Star Wars is doing it. And
anybody can go on YouTube right now and see Russo brothers explain fucking Captain America and shit like that. So you can see all that stuff. And the other thing, in the same interview I was watching with them, they said that this was the last movie and that they had no intention of building in stuff to move the story along with other characters, which when you go and watch the movie, you can tell it's complete horseshit. You know, maybe they didn't have that in their original vision, but still saying it in the interview that when we shot this, we didn't have it in mind. Yeah. No, you did because you knew the studio wanted you to.
Exactly. You're either full of shit or the studio really fucked you. It was one or the other. And
again, they're probably not going to say, well, the studio, you know, because they don't.
I mean, like 5 or 6 years from now, they probably will pull a Joss Whedon or something and say some shit. But no, I mean a big oh, what am I looking at? What? If you create a new timeline when you change the past, shouldn't Captain staying in the past be in a different timeline? He shouldn't see this timeline Avengers ever again.
Yes, and then the Russos actually explained that.
And not only that, let me, because that was from Hannah. Okay. That was from Hannah. Also, you know, he would go back to hang out with Peggy and shit. All that stuff in Civil War still existed. So does he not care about Sharon Carter? Like, did we all forget about that? So it just makes it even more disgusting. Like, it's really bad character writing for Cap. It's really bad. It's just like,
especially with the guys that, granted, the Russos didn't write this movie, but they did the other ones with Cap. So they know his story arc. So it's like, why are we dismissing the entire thing of like, and the other thing that got me with that was, and I don't want to get into Endgame again, but like his whole story arc throughout the Endgame movie was moving on. Yep. He clearly didn't fucking move on because he went back in time to.
That's what I'm saying.
Continue.
It's what I'm saying. It was, and as a military man who always needs to be in the fight, it's completely against his character. He would never abandon his post. It makes no sense. And as much and don't get me wrong. As a fan, I loved as like, because I love Peggy Carter. I love their relationship. You of course wanted him to have that moment where owed me a dance, but guess what, dude? You're not getting it. Right. Like, just don't. You know what could have been good? How about we go back in time? He gets his dance and then says, "I'm sorry, I have to go, but I promised you a dance," or something like that, and then he leaves. Yeah. Because she would understand who he is as a character and go, no. She'd probably tell him not to stay. You know what I mean? Yeah. That which would have made her another strong character who would be willing to sacrifice her time with him because of the greater good. Right. So, I mean, we could have still gotten the scene and he could have came back and still been his character. Again, this is stuff where it's disgusting that two fucking idiots on a podcast can sit here and bullshit for 5 minutes, give you the fan service you want, and still keep not only characters but timelines intact. Right.
And that's the thing is they don't really... In the interviews, any director in the interview is always going to say that they care about these characters, but the outcome is what we see on screen. And if you didn't give us a full story or something that made sense or something that you have to go and explain away, and again, not just Endgame, but if you have to go and explain it away in interviews, then to me, it's not going to, one, hold up, and two, it's just... is bad writing. Is purely bad writing. Yeah. And granted, the Russos in this movie, in this instance, can blame it on the writers since they didn't write any of this. Yeah. So that's a good thing for them, but also they are the directors. They're the face of this movie besides the actors. So especially as public as the Russos have been with everything, you think that they would have made this like solid, like we're not going to have to re-explain shit. Because, you know, the explaining Cap, explaining time travel shit, explaining Hulk and this and this.
We shouldn't have questions. Everybody should be trying to come to grips with the way they felt about the movie and how, you know, how we're going to move forward without Tony or without Black Widow. Like, we should all be processing those deaths. Like, almost in a real life thing. You know, we've been with these characters for a very long time. Seeing them should have had a much stronger effect on everyone. Because I remember telling Hannah, I was almost sick going into this movie because of my anticipation levels. Like, I'm like, is it going to let me down? Or is it going to be so perfect that I'm just going to cry the whole fucking way through like a bitch? And
I told Nikki I didn't want to see it at first. Like, the morning we went to go see it, I was like, I don't want to see it because what if it sucks?
Yeah, and I almost didn't want to. Yeah, no, I felt the same way, and luckily, like I was at work all day to kind of help distract me, and then when I got there, I was telling Hannah, I'm like, I cried. You know, I had my moments where I teared up, and when Tony died, I was sad, but I told Hannah, I go, this makes no sense. Like I remember watching Armageddon, and I'm literally, or like even the end of Click when Adam Sandler's like dying in the rain, like because father son stuff gets me all the time, and I'm like literally sobbing, dude, like almost face in my hands, like crying, just insane.
Yeah.
That should have been this movie like 3 or 4 times over. And I never experienced that. And it was like, that makes no sense. There should have been like 8 years of build up. And,
I feel when Widow died, I should have felt a little more too.
I should have cared more. Yeah.
But I didn't. For some reason, I just didn't. I don't know why.
Well, it's because they knew it was coming. As soon as you saw them both get on the platform, they wasted a fuck ton of time.
Yeah.
It's like you knew. Once they knew, the fight should have just started. They shouldn't even have been talking. They should have just immediately given each other a look. The music rises, and then they just literally kick the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
Like they should have gotten to a point where they were both damn near dead. You know what I mean? Like Hawkeye should have came back with a broken leg or something.
Yeah.
Like I'm not kidding. Like they should have been so fucked up that one of them
whoever
came back,
he didn't have like one of those net things that he could just like shot her with a fucking net arrow
and then zapped her to shit. Yeah. Well, no, because he was Ronin at that time. He might as well have just thrown his samurai sword at her. But but yeah, no. But to go off and this will be the last thing I talk about for Endgame because we have 3 fucking hours of me being insane on it.
Well, that's why I keep saying like everything. Most of the things I'm saying about it is just in reference to get people's, because to
get them thinking.
There's so much shit out there about Endgame right now that people will understand where I'm coming from with the shit. But you say what you got, and then
because this is it. This is a Russo interview, and one of my main problems is the fact that Falcon got the shield. I do have a problem with that because I think
I didn't hear them say anything about that in the one I watched. So
I think the storyline, everything said that Bucky should have gotten it. To me, like he needs a redemption arc.
Right.
Falcon's not a Winter Soldier, or he's not a super soldier. So what's the shield really gonna do for him? That kind of stuff. He's better with his tech. He's better with what he's got. He'd be better off.
I feel
just keeping his shit.
Bucky hasn't had a good moment since Winter Soldier, really.
No, they always underutilize him. He's a prop.
Yeah.
He's a prop. He's been a prop for a very long time. So this would have been a really good moment to finally let him ascend to an actual character with a motivation and, to right all his wrongs from the last like 3 or 4 movies. So I'm going to take a lot of the quotes from their interview and stuff, where they say there's a lot of discussion fueled by the books. There are 2 versions who get the shield, Sam Wilson, Falcon, or Bucky. We talked about it, but it became pretty clear to us early on that Cap and Sam just share this character connection. Okay, so Bucky and Cap don't? Nice try. Not that Cap and Bucky don't, Joe interrupted. I think the real attraction between Cap and Bucky is that their relationship, they started more as opposites, and that's how they complemented each other. That's what Anthony Mackie said. Whereas I feel like Sam and Cap are more kindred spirits. So they're like good work friends who are buddies, but they also go, also, this is important. Bucky has a damaged mind. I don't know if you want to give another weapon to that guy. Are you fucking kidding me? Way to undercut his character. You mean the guy who came and helped you? The guy that Wakanda kept safe, even though Black Panther, T'Challa assumed that he was to blame for his father's death. Like, it's just insane. And to also think that, we swallow a lot of bullshit because it's a comic book movie. You're telling me Shuri couldn't go in and fix his neurons and stuff and like,
well, that's what they supposedly did. Like,
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, that they were working on that. That's the whole reason
he was in Wakanda. Like, they put him on ice till they could fix him, and then they had him in the little cottage as his brain was getting fixed by her.
Yep.
That was the whole story arc of the end of Civil War and
Black Panther.
The end of Black Panther. Like,
so it's like I literally think these movies completely forgot about all of their movies in the last like 3 to 4 years.
I think the two is like, so we as an audience, especially with Endgame in mind, we are supposed to, like, for Captain Marvel's intro, they did her intro into Endgame at the very end of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
So they're expecting us as an audience to remember these scenes to go into another movie, but yet they don't remember the scenes when they're writing the fucking movie and talking about it. Mm-hmm. So, because that explanation right there is bullshit, and you know, he had his stuff taken out already. He was worked on in Wakanda for what?
It's nonsense.
Probably like a year or two. I think he was supposedly there or some shit.
Yeah. It's absolutely absurd. And I was telling Hannah, I think my biggest problem with all shows right now is that characters and actors are no longer characters and actors. They are props. They are fucking meat props. Like people's character motivations and things change scene to scene.
Right.
It's like, hey, we got these 4 people in this scene because we want to have this fight choreography happen. And then, well, but how they get there? Well, that doesn't matter. We'll figure it out. And then the next scene, they like teleport somewhere. Like Game of Thrones is really infamous for that right now. And
well, I think that's why I hate to say it because I love movies. I love going to the movies. I love the experience of getting to see the story on the big screen and seeing, especially characters that I've been around for a long time, not just in the Marvel universe, but in like in general, yeah. But I feel I'm becoming more attracted to TV shows because they give you more of that. Like I always tell everyone, I love character development. I love seeing the character develop from, you know, a scrawny little boy into this, you know, Captain America. There you go. But and it's one of those things that they're not doing properly in movies anymore. Like you have it maybe for like a little section, but then it just disappears.
I think the detrimental thing is actually that with TV shows it's worse. Because
it can if it gets too long.
Well, my problem is that you're going to spend even more time with these characters. You have more hours, and with TV you tend to have a lot more filler too. Like,
well, that's why I like the shows like that Netflix does, because they're straight to the point. 10 episodes usually. I mean, when they did the Marvel stuff, they were like 13, but Netflix didn't want to do that anyway.
I mean, you could still argue watch Daredevil, dude. Like that shit is filled with just
there's lots of filler in those.
Just monotony, dude. Like you could almost cut 2 episodes and be like, okay, this is solid. But
that's why you should watch Stranger Things, dude. Like,
I really want to. It's just one of those things that's a little hyped for me right now. I wanted to get off my radar and then jump on it,
so people aren't like getting your hopes up.
Yeah. Well, and it's just because I don't believe anybody anymore, because lately, like, because Hannah's just like, you're really mean to people about like the way you present the way. I'm like, yeah, I know I come off pretentious, but I always tell her, I'm like, yeah, but you only see the post I make. You don't see the discussions I'm having online with other people who are thinking I'm just a fucking asshole because I don't like something. It's like, but you're supposed to like it. And it's like, no.
Can we get on to that? That will work in, because that'll be my segue. Segu.
Okay. Your segu.
To fucking online people.
Yeah.
And this is a society as a whole, but mostly like the internet people that are scouring the internet for information on these movies.
Yeah.
And I blame them.
Like fucking like hour-long trailer breakdowns. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I blame those people for... I 50% blame those people. No.
Okay.
I 75% blame those people for the lack of bad writing coming into Hollywood, because they're giving them an out, because they're like, oh, we're going to break this down. We're going to over-explain this shit to you. We're going to give you the story that you fucking want in our, hour YouTube video or half an hour YouTube video, so that the writers in Hollywood can take a little bit of break and give you a crappier story. And again, like, I know we talked about it in our last cast with the Far From Home trailer. There are even more fucking videos on YouTube of breaking it down, and this and this and this and this and this and that, and like all the fan theories already just from that one trailer. I'm like, come on, guys, can we take a break? You're overexciting everybody to the point where they're gonna go see the movie now.
Yeah.
Just because of all the talk on it online. And that gives the writers an out because it's like no matter what, people are going to go see the movie, whether it's a good writing or bad writing. It's going to make money, which is going to get those bad writers more jobs because they're on a movie that made billions or a million or a couple million, 100 million or whatever the fuck. And on the millions too.
Which I can piggyback off of on that was that I mean, especially now, again, where I say like this cinematic universe, the way that they were promoting and doing stuff the last couple of years, those trailer breakdowns are fucking stupid now. I mean, they can literally false advertise the movie with the trailer by putting in scenes that legitimately do not exist. And I hate using the term false advertising because that sounds a little bit more like we're being necessarily deceived rather than actually like they're kind of saving us from ourselves kind of thing. But at the same time, it's like, why bother with a fucking trailer breakdown when, 50% of that trailer might not even actually exist? Like, but you're just making shit up.
At the same time, some of the shit that's fake stuff that they put in the trailers is actually cool shit that I want to see in the movie. It's like, come on, where was that in the movie? Like that. Yeah. So technically, in that aspect, it would be kind of a false advertisement because you're getting your hopes up. Being like, oh sweet, I get to see. Oh no, because
you have to assume that the thing that you omitted and decided to put in the movie is actually better than what you put in the trailer. So that's a hell of an assumption to make going into it. But also,
I wanted to say something since I was talking about the millions of dollars that these movies are making, or billions.
Fucking Aquaman hit $1 billion, didn't it?
Did it finally?
Yeah, I think so. That was insane.
So I know Endgame has not come up to Avatar at this point in time that I know of. It hasn't beaten it, and we're the 7th or 8th day of whatever fucking month this is, May.
Maybe 3 weeks in.
Yeah, 3 weeks in, but it's close. It's a couple $100 million away.
Dude, Avatar had like fucking 3 months in theaters. Dude. Yeah, like. So, Endgame's gonna beat it. I refuse to believe it won't beat it.
I thought about that. I was thinking about like the numbers, and even if it beats Avatar in there, I was looking at the budget.
Yeah.
So the budget for Avatar was estimated at $237 million, whereas the budget estimated for Endgame was at $356 million. So they spent over $100 million more on this movie. So it definitely deserves to beat Avatar, no matter what the story is like or what you think of it. Yeah.
Well,
especially because
I don't know if the budget. I don't know if the budget should be the deciding factor. I think the fact that they gave us a really good lead up and like the. And don't get me wrong, the stuff they do well in this movie is really good. I literally feel like you watched 3 different movies in this.
They break it down into 3 different fucking movies almost. You got your brooding moment for all the characters. Well, that's one movie.
And then you have your clip scene. Yeah. Like, I always tell Hannah that the time travel shit, it felt like that shitty filler, like, clip scene episode in a show that's ran for, like, 8 seasons. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what it felt like. It just felt like pandering fucking bullshit nonsense. And it's disgusting. I really do hate that movie. I really do. And it gets worse the more I think about it. It's really sad. It's really, really sad. Because I really shouldn't be thinking about that with this movie. I should be more on a technical level. Like, music cues didn't work, or editing didn't work, or this didn't work. It's like, no, your fucking plot is so... Yeah. So it's just Swiss cheese. Like it's insane. But let's get off that because
I don't want to talk about that.
I could talk another 3 hours on that shit.
So basically as a synopsis, my thing was just basically I feel it's an out for the writers, for the directors to be able to go into interviews and re-explain shit or explain shit that they didn't put into the movie. Which is basically just like, oh, we should probably make something up just to appease to the fans. And then, again, with society is how we are acting as a society as a whole is the reason that I feel we're getting worse writing because these people are feeling like, hey, we have this big brand name on it. You're going to go see it. That's my one thing about Captain Marvel is I feel because that Marvel logo was on there, is the only reason it broke $1 billion.
Yeah.
And
again, I think they cooked their books on that. I'll still put money down on that they pumped money into that. And also, perfect example is I just came across this story about Mr. Mark Hamill, aka Luke Skywalker.
AKA
apparently
Chucky.
Yeah, now Chucky, the fucking buddy. He apparently made a post on Twitter, because apparently Twitter is a thing still, on April 26th.
Mm-hmm.
It was a picture of him photoshopped with Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Billy D. Williams all inside the Millennium Falcon.
Photoshopped in there?
Yeah, it's photoshopped. And he goes, a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
And
it totally was, because they screwed the pooch on that. I mean, if you're going to have all those characters coming back throughout 3 fucking films, get them in one scene together.
You never saw them together.
Never. You won't. The only way you would is through fucking Force Ghosts.
Yep. It's like the only people you ever saw together were Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher for like 2 seconds in Last Jedi. And they did a bullshit thing with some dice that who cares to set up Han Solo movie.
When did he post that?
It didn't matter. April 26, 2019. So, and people, apparently he caught a lot of backlash. Like a bunch of people were literally, and this is what's wrong with society right now, is that literally the guy who would know his character better and probably know this story better than anyone is Mark fucking Hamill. And people are saying, move on. And yeah, that would have been great, seeing a bunch of these old people who already had their time together. And I go, this is why these movies got made again, dude. Like, this is why. It was because of these people. It's insane. It's like, you really don't think that these people deserve to have moments together? Like, it just seems so... Yeah, I don't know. It just seems people don't have any foresight anymore. It's insane.
I'm reading the one he tweeted after that. It's fucking... I'm guessing it's to go against that backlash he got.
Yeah.
It says, nothing more, nothing less. I love the new cast too and didn't mean to get everyone's knickers in a twist. Maybe I should have just posted a bunch of Endgame spoilers instead.
Yep. Hashtag relax and have fun, people. Wow. And this one, he fucking photoshopped the Joker holding in his Return of the Jedi outfit with the green lightsaber. Yeah. I'm fucking dying, because my first joke was when I saw the Rise of Skywalker trailer at the end, when you hear the laughing, everybody's like, that's fucking Emperor Palpatine. Yeah. And I go, I kind of sounded like Mark Hamill doing the Joker.
That's what I thought. I was like, that's Mark Hamill. I so thought that was fucking Mark Hamill.
I was like, are we about to do something really creepy where like Luke Skywalker ends up being the Emperor and we do like a fucking time travel thing? Like, because I wouldn't put it past Disney. Because why not put time travel? Oh, it doesn't make sense. I'm like, we didn't need time travel in fucking Avengers, but apparently we might get it in Star Wars. Fuck, put time travel in fucking Game of Thrones. Fuck it. Let's go.
The Force is strong in time.
Like, fucking movies are so terrible. They're being written for 5-year-olds and mentally deficient adults.
I'm just confused as to why these people would say that he should move on from that photo that he posted, the one with them, all 4 of them, the originals together. Yeah. When that is okay, so that's the problem I find in lots of fucking things, especially the hip hop industry. You have all these younger people coming in and they don't pay respect to the OGs.
Yeah.
And that I would feel that's the same in this aspect too. It's like, these are your originals. You want to see them. If you're going to branch off and build a whole nother thing based off of what they fucking started, 40 years ago? It was the 70s, so 30,
and
40,
also
50 almost.
And also, don't get me wrong, like, I like people like, I hate Cardi B like a lot. But that fucking song she does, the where she takes the sample of I Like It Like That.
Yeah.
He's so handsome. What's his name? Like, I can't help myself. Like, that song's fucking catchy as shit. But it's because the original song is fucking catchy as shit, and she just put some cute shit on it.
Right.
I love Nicki Minaj to death, but man, she did a fucking dumb thing where, like, I guess her fucking her newest album is called Queen.
Okay.
So like she was fucking like going on Twitter and shit, like going like, yeah, fucking like #1 on iTunes, like I'm fucking killing it. Your Queen represent. Yeah, it was fucking Queen because the Bohemian Rhapsody movie came out. You fucking retard. Like she didn't know that.
So she got #1 because people thought it was.
No, she thought she was #1.
She thought she was #1 when it was actually Queen, the band.
It was actually Queen, the band, not her album. And so like she was like fucking like, you know, up her own ass about it. So that was fucking hysterical. But then it's like, yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of these songs are cute and shit. Like, you know, Post Malone's been kind of doing some pretty catchy shit lately. And, you know, that stuff's good. But like, you know.
I love his voice, dude.
But his shit's not going to get played in like 5 years and people are going to go like fucking crazy. Like, but you have like, you know, Changes by Tupac pop on, or like doom, 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 like fucking Biggie comes on.
That's
all
like
a dream.
That's
like,
the thing is too, is that's like the DJs that are playing that shit. Like they're always going to play that old school, at least right now the DJs will still do that on the radio, but
because it's good.
When you deal with the artists, there's so many artists nowadays. They say that they like respect the OGs from back in the day. You don't respect them. If you did, you would not do the shit that you do.
Yeah,
I mean,
fucking
especially mumble rappers. Like I still can't wrap my head around that. Like I don't. That's like, to me, like the guys that did the hardcore metal where they would roar.
Oh, fucking what do they call that? It's not death. Is it death metal? It's not death metal.
I don't know.
They call it.
Me and Nikki had a talk about that the other day.
Ska. That's what it is.
Yeah, because she used to listen to shit like that, and I was like, and she wanted to go. She said one of the groups was in town from like the '90s or some shit.
Yeah,
and I was like, "You want to go?" She's like, "Yeah, I used to like that stuff." I was like, "You know that's bad for the microphone, right?"
Well, I mean, Hannah was a big Rammstein fan. She used to, you know, this little tiny 100-pound white girl's Rogan corn in the middle of Iowa for her summer job, listening to fucking Rammstein and.
I could see her with some cornrow or some dreadlocks.
Oh, dude, her fucking new band right now is Ghost. Apparently, they're kind of cool. I don't give a shit about that kind of music, but you know, she's awesome and I love her, so I'll go. I'll buy her tickets and we'll fucking go.
I'm into all types of music, so that's one of the things that
if it's good, I'll listen to it, dude.
People,
100%.
I like self-indulgence with some cool shit.
Yeah, I'll shit on country all day, but I mean, there's country I'll listen to. I love Lone Star. I love fucking Rascal Flatts. I love fucking Garth Brooks. I love, you know, I love these
Chris
people.
Gaines. Did you like the Chris Gaines?
I don't even know who that is.
That's Garth Brooks.
Oh my God, really?
He did the Chris Gaines album like years ago when he was trying to get away from his like country persona of Garth Brooks.
Oh, okay.
So
I knew he did something like that, like how
emo persona. Then he got sued because he used some other dude's name that's like a real dude.
Oh shit! Because like Bruce Willis did like the Bruno thing, and like Billy Bob Thornton had a band and shit. Like I get all that. I knew he did that, but I didn't know his name was Chris Gaines. That's fucking funny.
I have that album. I have all of Garth Brooks' albums.
Oh, but to even bring it back to music and movies, like you know, they used a Biggie Smalls joint in fucking into the Spider-Verse because they're in fucking Brooklyn, and then you got
which if you didn't use some of Biggie's music when you're dealing with that type of stuff, like I'm surprised they didn't use more in Luke Cage.
Yeah, a Hispanic. Oh yeah, fuck, that'd have been great.
Because they used like I think 1 or 2 songs of his through 2 seasons of Luke Cage, and I was surprised they didn't use more, especially because the whole first season they have a massive fucking Biggie poster in our
What a
picture.
fucking waste. I wish Luke Cage and I wish Iron Fist hadn't been their own shows. I wish they would have just buddy copped up and just had them together. They were great. Every scene when those two are together, it's fucking brilliant. Yeah. Like, even though both their shows kind of suck.
I think it was
they're not great.
Second season of Luke Cage where they actually did like a team up of those two guys.
That warehouse fight.
For one episode, the warehouse fight was awesome. That's what that should have been about.
Or the office fight when like all 4 of them, or no, it was just the 2 of them came in and he used them like, you know, it was fucking dope. That shit was so awesome. But then you have another music cue like in Aquaman.
Yeah.
They go to the fucking Sahara, where we go to the place where your people call the Sahara, which I'm like, you guys would know what the Sahara is, you fucking idiots. You've been here forever. You know about land dwellers. And then literally like 10 minutes later, they have the fucking line where they're like, before the Sahara was a desert. Yeah, it used to be a kingdom in Atlantis, like in the ocean world, so they would absolutely know what the Sahara was. A bunch of fucking retards, and they would know where the fucking kingdom is. Anyway, the whole thing is that they start playing this song when they're walking out of the water, where again it's like the third time it looks like a fucking shitty porno, and you know. They're blessing the rains down in Africa, apparently, because what a great song to use in Aquaman. You know what song's really good? The Toto version of that song. The original goddamn version, because it's a meme, and people want to use it as a meme. That's why it's in the movie, because it's a meme. So instead of using that song, they used a fucking remade song from Pitbull and some dumb chick. Holy fuck, dude. What a miss. And it's just so gross. It's bad enough that you're using a meme culture joke. Yeah. But then you're gonna kind of like make it worse somehow. Like, I don't even know you could do that. Like Bless the Rains Down in Africa is like the B movie version of a song. Like, it's whimsical because it's kind of dumb. But at the same time, it's iconic. People know it. Like, just fucking use the original song. Like, what is wrong with you? It's so stupid. I fucking hate it. And then you were talking about hip hop. Yeah. Which makes it even worse. I just saw an interview of Will Smith. Oh my God, kill me.
Oh, I heard you saying something right before we started. I couldn't hear all the way.
Yeah, it's Will Smith on Jimmy Fallon.
Okay.
Apparently, they're gonna Will Smith up Genie songs.
So he's gonna do like the Fresh Prince as the genie?
Pretty much. They're essentially gonna go for a more like rappy, like
urban,
like drum kit version of Friend Like Me. It's insane. I told Hannah, I go, fuck it, why not? I mean, it would be nice that this movie crashes and burns so bad. And they make so many stupid fucking like me.
It won't. That's the
It'll
thing.
make money.
It's gonna be.
It'll make money.
Hard to watch, but it's gonna make all the monies.
Yeah.
All the monies.
This is gonna be one of those movies that I'm very excited. I'm just gonna do a commentary track on. I'm gonna buy it day one when it comes out on Redbox. Well, not buy it. I'm gonna get a free fucking coupon code and get it, and then do a first viewing commentary on it, because you know this movie's gonna be trash. It looks terrible. Like, the trailer is absurd.
It's just like so Sonic, dude. It's not gonna be a good story. It might be it might be just fun to watch, but it doesn't even look that pretty to me. You know, like when I say pretty, I mean like cinematography wise, it doesn't even look that great.
It's not gonna be it's not even good on a technical level.
Yeah.
If they do re-render Sonic, I told Hannah I'm probably gonna go. Just because I do like the idea that maybe they would actually start listening to fans that actually care.
Right. If they're doing that, like we talked about that in the last cast, if they're willing to change something because they feel the fans would like it more, then they can have some money.
And there's a difference between being like, oh, they caved to the fans, and oh, this is bad for culture. It's like, the difference is that the fans put out a bunch of re-renders of like movie quality that looked better than theirs. Yeah. That also looked like the fucking cartoon.
In less than a day.
Yeah, and people were just putting that out there. It's like, dude, we're showing you that what you did is garbage. Fix it.
Well,
fucking fix it.
What they had Sonic looking like in that trailer looked like one of the Who kids from the Grinch movie, the live-action Grinch movie.
It just looked creepy.
It worried me.
He looked like a fucking hobo. Like, it looked stupid. Yeah. And then, I don't know. And then, oh man, I'm so fucking over people, dude. The internet is insane. Like, this Detective Pikachu shit, I don't even want to watch it now. Because all these fucking morons are like, just like, you know, the sexy half-naked chicks are all over Instagram doing Pikachu costumes, and
they've been doing that though for decades since Pokemon was out.
But I'm saying right now there's a huge like overabundance of it right now.
Because they're gonna hashtag the shit out of themselves and get their.
Well, they just put out the fake. They just did that fucking fake shit. They're Deadpooling this, where Ryan Reynolds leaked the movie on YouTube. An hour and 47 cut of the movie. Hour and 47 minute cut of the movie.
When?
Yep. And everybody was talking about it. It was like 2 days ago, and everybody's talking about it, and they're freaking out, and everybody's watching it, and they're leaving comments and going, "It's the greatest movie I've ever seen. It's so amazing," and blah blah blah.
From
it was
reviewer that I've heard
no wait.
from.
It was literally Pikachu just dancing for an hour and 47 minutes. That's all it was. It was just the live action Pikachu, quote unquote.
Gotcha.
Just dancing for an hour and 47 minutes. This is how brain dead people are these days. I'm not kidding. Like, people are fucking 5-year-olds, all of them. People are stupid. They're so dumb. They'll eat up anything now for views and likes, and everybody wants to be included. Everybody wants to be part of the meme now. Like, if you're against the joke, you're somehow either missing out or you're not.
I will tell you, that's one of the reasons I love following Mark Hamill on fucking Twitter, because he just doesn't give a shit. Bro,
that dude is such a troll. Last Jedi killed him, dude. Jedi, well, literally in the show.
Yeah.
But then also, like, it broke his spirit, dude. You could tell. Dude, watching those interviews and shit, it broke his fucking spirit.
I remember there was one interview that he was doing, and I laughed my ass off when I watched it, because he said something, and I think it might have been, like, Jimmy Kimmel or Fallon, one of those guys. It was like, "Can you say that?" And he's like, "What are they gonna do? Fire me?"
Yep. Oh, dude, he's so fucking brilliant. I love it.
Like, really, I mean.
And I love just watching the documentaries from Last Jedi, dude, because like Carrie Fisher called Rian Johnson an asshole, and it's pretty much just Mark Hamill talking about how Rian Johnson just doesn't understand his character or what's going on, and he's fucking confused, and it's just like, that's just not a good sign, dude. It's just not, and it just proves that, like.
Which isn't he getting like his own like set of fucking movies in the Star Wars universe now? The Johnson.
Because they just released the fact that there's going to be another trilogy after this, because of course,
right?
Why not?
But this is like the end of like the Skywalker saga finally.
Which I mean, you could argue that shit was over after the prequels, but
yeah, because really the only Skywalker they're focusing on this one is.
Maybe Luke.
No, dude, because he's technically a fucking Skywalker. See, this is how bad these ones are, because I don't watch them religiously. The Kylo Ren. There,
Kylo Ren. Technically, he's an Organa, but yeah, he is. Yeah. I mean, I guess technically he is a Skywalker.
He's a Skywalker or Solo.
Because he's Anakin's daughter. But at the end of the day, it was like,
wait, what?
I mean, I guess. What?
Oh, nothing.
Yeah, he was Anakin's daughter.
Yeah.
And twins. And twins. There's a fucking old beer reference right there for you. Yeah, I don't care. Those movies fucked everything up really, really bad. Let's see, what else we got? I
just saw this picture. It's you gotta help me with this chick's name. From Wakanda.
Denai Guerrera, the Dora Milaje chick, the spirit, the baldy.
Yeah. What's her character's name?
Oh fuck.
Well, it's her character.
Yeah.
And she's like, really?
Michonne. Let's just call her Michonne.
Yeah. Wakanda still doesn't have a Starbucks, and she's looking at the chick from the Game of Thrones. Holding the coffee.
I'm so glad that fucking meme is going. Dude, I'm really at a point where I think that got deliberately done. I really
That's
do.
what I said last time. I was like, I guarantee you they probably CG'd that shit in there.
You fucking put my mind. Well, they CGI'd it out. Let me tell you though.
Did they?
Yeah, they went back and did it. Fucking Philip DeFranco. Man, it sucks because I really like him. Man, that guy's just kind of turned into a cunt in the last couple of episodes. It's like, good job, internet, like doing the fucking pedantic, like fucking like slow clap, like, you did it, you fixed it. It's like, again, another guy who just doesn't give a shit. Like, these stories have been going, like, already think about the fact that George R.R. Martin wrote these fucking books like years ago, and then they made a show that has had people like change culture. It changed culture for the last like 6 or 7 years, and now we're coming to the end, and then you're making colossal fuck ups like that, and people are like, it's not a colossal fuck up. Yes, it is. You're in front of 3 of your title characters on a table not doing anything. There's no action, there's no nothing. There's no reason why you should have made that mistake. That shit is fucking 101 film school bullshit.
Yeah, that's so true.
But yeah, but I mean, I would get a point if you have the Game of Thrones stuff. I would at least say just, I think you
Start
should
watching
watch it. I think you should watch it just because it will give you a clear example of all the stuff I'm talking about. How you
Right.
can really see the devolving of writing, because you literally can watch it happen right in front of you. Because
Yeah.
up till season 4, like pretty much the last like 3 episodes or so of season 4, you kind of start to see it creep in just a smidge. And then season 5 gets just uncanny. Like about halfway through season 5, you're just like, oh, uh-oh. And then season 6 has like 2 good episodes, and then teleporting stuff starts happening. And then like all this other shit. And then this last season has just been a de-evolution.
That's been the same way with
Everything.
Arrow. Now that I've like had the time to take Arrow in,
Yeah.
I feel the same way about that. Like after season 4-ish, it started.
Yep.
The stories were kind of like, okay,
The
there's
League of Shadows stuff killed it.
Yeah.
It really hurt the show, because once you introduced Flash, it was kind of a problem.
yeah. Especially
Yeah.
because there's like points where like Arrow could literally just call Flash up and he'd be there in an instant, and then it's like, okay, we're in a dangerous situation. Fucking call Flash, Felicity, dude, come on, like.
Yep. No, but see, that stuff I let go, because if you're gonna let that be the excuse for every
Yeah.
time, it's just kind of like, oh well, we have that excuse for Avengers and all shit like that, and
Right.
But I'm talking more just straight up development of characters and, like just fucking just stupid.
And
writing
sometimes
mistakes.
like a lot of it, especially with TV, it can get really stale if you
Yeah.
don't, especially when you're doing 22 episodes, when 10 of them are fucking filler episodes.
No, see, my problem is that show was what it needed to be right off the bat. It was Monster of the Week, serial, whatever. It was perfect. You have one big bad that overarches the entire season, while he just weekly learns something either morally important about
You're
his
talking
character.
about Arrow, right?
Flash, actually.
Flash, okay.
Because I think Flash was a better example for
Okay, yeah,
everything. Because the first season of Arrow is fucking phenomenal. Second season's pretty goddamn good because Deathstroke's amazing.
Yeah.
But Flash was pretty consistent throughout season 1 and 2. Granted, they kind of used the same arc. It's a evil speedster that kind of like fucking fucks him over and shit like that. But the whole point is that he pretty much every week would learn something new about his powers, or something about his relationship with other people, or something morally about himself based on who he was fighting, while there was this overarching story happening in the background. Then
Right.
about season 3, it was like you had that formula on top of, okay, let's make all the characters around him have storylines, on top of, now we're going to introduce multiple universes, and we're going to, he's got to help with Arrow and all those guys. And then when we do the crossover, like, how much does that bleed into the other stuff? And it just got so bogged down. And it was just like, at the end of the day, Flash doesn't need a team of people to help him fight. They need a team of people to help him, like, get through his daily life and make good moral decisions and things
Right.
like that. But they don't need to help him fight. He's fast as shit. After Flash time happened, there should be no more Team Flash. That shit should have ended 2 seasons ago. And because he comes out of the Speed Force and he's like a god.
Yeah.
He's essentially God. And then they've had to essentially dial him back so many times he looks like a fucking retard. Like, he can't do anything. It's
Which,
like,
can I
wait,
say,
what?
in fucking Injustice 2, when Flash uses Flash time on you, fuck you guys.
Oh, the video game.
Fuck the game developers for that bullshit. I didn't realize Flash could use Flash time in there, and I was fighting him. I've been playing the game just with Snart, so, well, Captain Cold.
Leonard
But,
Snart. Dude, you should do some game capture for that. I would love to watch you. I would love to watch you fucking play that fucking game. Mia, dude, games like that, I cannot get through an entire storyline without breaking a controller. Like, I just can't.
That's what my
but
brother
yeah,
does.
I would like those shows to get a nice revamp. I don't imagine Flash. I don't imagine Flash is going to go longer than an extra season after Crisis.
Right.
so
I
we'll
feel
see.
that Flash has come into kind of a close with everything too. Anyways, I mean,
It's
there's
been brutal.
only
The
so
last, like,
much
3
you can
seasons.
do with the same fucking villain.
I don't believe that. I think that's horseshit. I think that's absolutely horseshit, dude. Like, come on, man. Like, cartoons did it forever. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You could put them away and then they break out.
With this one, well, actually,
I don't care that
are
they break
getting
out.
rid of a lot of his characters, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, because Cisco's done.
They should let
But again, that's why get rid of if you would have gotten rid of Team
have
Flash,
a little
dude,
more screen time.
Dude, he should get his own fucking show. I was telling people that guy is his comedic timing is incredible. His powers are funny. He was a private eye. You know, it'd be really cool. What if Detective Joe West becomes like this? I don't know. Like maybe he decides to go into private eye stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Could you imagine him and Joe West and Dibney, dude? Like doing a buddy cop show, serial Law and Order with jokes type thing. Like that'd be great. It would be a perfect replacement for Supernatural. You know what I mean? He'd be perfect. And he could just fight all the same villains as Flash and
Right.
like it would be great. It would be fucking great. And like the days you're like, oh, I don't really want a superhero thing. Cool, then just let it be Dibney and him just chilling doing private eye shit. It'd be great. Good writing, like it'd be fun. And both those actors are strong enough and charismatic enough to keep a show going. It doesn't need to be. I don't know, understand this thing. Well, because I do, because everybody's fucking 5 years old. Like I said, everybody needs it to be this big, overwhelming spectacle. Like, get the fuck out of here. Punisher is awesome.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, that's the thing I like so far about the Umbrella Academy that I'm watching into.
Yeah.
It's not like fucking Avengers, or it's not even like the crossover events or anything in CW and all that stuff. It's toned down, and it lets you know exactly what it is right away, and it's not this huge spectacle. It's not something that you have to keep watching each episode either right away.
Yeah.
Unless you want to.
Yeah. And that's great. And I mean, you know, and CW is still trying, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope it's good. DC Legends of Tomorrow is great. I fucking love everything going on with it right now. I think they nailed it. I hope they get at least one more season. And the CW just ordered the full season of Batwoman, so that is official now.
See, that's when I think a lot of the stuff is going to change in their universe, is like when they get Batwoman in there and shit.
Along with Nancy Drew. Dude, I'm curious, because, you know, Batwoman apparently is in another dimension or something, so Gotham's kind of, like, chilling on its own, so I wonder how they're going to, like, put all that shit together. And
I don't know if it's supposed to be like... See, that's what
I think it's
confused
gonna
me
be its
about
own
the
thing.
crossover.
Yeah, I think it's going to be its own thing. I hope it's its own thing. I think Ruby Rose is going to be great. I'm very excited. I think she's a great casting for this character. I think they toned down the costume a little bit. It looks pretty good.
Yeah.
I still wish it would have been a little more Injustice-y, like the Flash, like a little more plate armor, like, because she tends to use guns and stuff.
Right.
So her having like more like a military battle armor type thing would have made a little more sense to me rather than straight up spandex. But she looks great.
It's kind of like a rubbery spandexy thing.
It looks like Joel Schumacher shit.
Yeah.
It looks like the old rubber nipples type.
But the way they
fucking
light it
costume.
and stuff makes it look a lot
It
better.
looks more, it looks like Gotham. It looks like Gotham stuff. And I like it, like old Tim Burton-y style. You could tell they were doing it when they showed up. They were doing more like wide-angle shots to like establish scenes and
which
like
I'm
the
hoping,
very
like,
old Tim Burton stuff.
That's the thing is, whenever you dive into Gotham City, whenever you dive in, you have to do it really good. And I hope that the CW doesn't like undercut shit and like make it, you know, too TV-ish, especially when we're coming off of just seeing fucking Gotham, where they were showing dudes get their heads cut off on Fox. So it's like, come on.
Well, and everybody knows that Gotham as a city needs to be a character within itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's always looked really cool. It's always been, like, really artistically designed. And, you know, if you can make the city a character, it really helps sell your narrative. And on top of that, it's like, God, if they can make that shit look fucking incredible. There is rumors that Jordan Peele, you know, the director of Us and Get Out and stuff, he wants to helm or at least write a Gargoyles live action movie, which fucking give me, dude. Fucking give me. Because what's his fate is still alive. Keith David's still alive. Use him voicing Goliath, dude.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Like, I want that fucking show so bad. Like, I want it so fucking bad.
What channel would it be on? Have they said anything about it, or is it
No,
just
no,
rumored?
no. It's all rumor stuff, like stuff he wants to do. But if I had to pick one, I'd put it on the fucking DC app, dude.
Yeah.
Give him a fuck ton of money and put him on the DC app. That would probably be the show that would do it for me. That I would buy it. And then a live
if
action.
they keep the DC app around.
And then give me a CGI live action Darkwing Duck. I'm kidding. Don't please, God, don't do that.
I just want Darkwing Duck back
I just
on
want
the
somebody.
cartoon.
Can they just put that shit on TV? Like, can we just start streaming that? Like, give me a fucking streaming app that's just them showing me cool shit. You know what I mean? Like old stuff that like give me nostalgic 2.0 fucking app. It's all the old Nickelodeon shit. I think actually Nickelodeon did do that. Like they put like Hey Arnold and Rugrats and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, let me tell you, dude.
Nickelodeon
if that app
has
exists,
like Nick Jr., Nick
Kids,
Kid. Like
shit,
they have all different channels and shit.
dude, my whole thing is like I need my nieces and nephews to grow up with good shit.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, Paw Patrol's actually pretty decent.
Well, that's why
I've watched some of that. That's actually not bad.
As soon as I was able to get Hulu for free, dude, like my kids started watching fucking Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain, all that shit.
Great show. Fucking Avatar Airbender is something that I should tell everyone you need to show your kids.
Yeah.
You need to show that to your children. Like that shit is amazing. It helps you with the idea of like personal struggles. They actually are super fucking diverse, dude. They talk about the whole world and all the different cultures and like how you should be one with nature and yourself. And like, you know, they have a blind girl in it who's one of the strongest characters, who's also a female, like all the female. I mean, there's so much diversity in fucking Avatar Airbender, dude. Like, I will say that might be one of the greatest stories ever told in media right now, especially for kids show, dude. It's very cartoony. It's so cartoony. It's very like Western style anime, and it's just, man, if you haven't seen Avatar: The Last Airbender, go fucking watch that shit. And the movie doesn't exist. Fucking M. Night Shyamalan shit the bed on that one. Let's see.
No, man, I hope on the Disney Plus app that they actually put all those like the older cartoons on there, like Darkwing Duck, the original DuckTales, fucking Tailspin, and all that shit.
That's a good one. Rescue Rangers.
Yeah, Rescue Rangers.
Have you watched the new DuckTales yet?
I've seen a little bit of it finally.
It's pretty good. I think it's good.
I was staying away from it because I was like, I don't want to do that, but it's actually pretty good.
David Tennant's great, dude. And he's actually Scottish, so he actually gets to like use his accent, which is fucking dope. I love that.
They're also redoing or re-establishing Animaniacs as well.
Ooh, you don't think that's a little...
The same guys
culture?
are behind it.
I know, but in this PC culture, dude.
See,
I don't know.
That's actually, it was funny because I watched Rob Paulson and the other guy, one of the other actors, listen. So they did kids watching Animaniacs and the actors watching the kids watching Animaniacs.
Oh, the fucking kids react or whatever.
And one of the kids, like, they asked the kid, they were like, well, what do you think about this? And they're like, if it came out right now, and they're like, oh, I don't think it would last very long because of how everyone is with the content that's in there. And I was like, a fucking kid says that.
Yep.
You know the studios are thinking it, so then it's kind of like, yeah. I mean, you can't do the hello nurse thing in there because then you'll get shit for that. You'll get all that.
Shit. It's insane. I don't know what world. The world we're living in right now is very scary. I don't like it. I really don't. I hate to be so fucking morbid, but it's just like people like don't have their own opinions anymore. Yeah. Everybody fabricates everything based on social media. Everything. Well, if you're not included, you're crazy.
It's like, so we live in a world where everyone has a voice. We can all do a podcast, a YouTube video. We can have our own websites. We can do all this shit to get our own opinions out there. Yeah. But yet the way the culture is, it's like if you put your real opinion out there, you're going to get attacked. Or you're never going to get work in said industries, or you know,
get blacklisted
fucking
real fast.
You're nowadays when you apply for a job, they look at your Facebook page.
Yeah.
I use my Facebook page just to fuck around. Like
Yeah.
My Facebook page does not show who I am as a person or as a worker that I would be for your company.
I
know?
I always think that nowadays, this is why you should have your own website. I think people should really start to navigate away from Facebook. I think people should really navigate away from a lot of this stuff, because I think the second you can start keeping your own voice and being able to monitor yourself is more important than letting other people monitor you. Because I mean, you got to remember, you and I grew up at a time when the internet came out, and the whole number one thing was, don't put your real name out there. Don't do it. Don't do it. You'll get kidnapped or
don't
raped
talk
over
to
the
these
internet.
strangers. Don't meet these fucking people. Or,
fucking ASL on fucking AOL.
You were
H sex location.
Yeah.
But it's like literally, don't do that and don't buy shit off the internet. Why would you ever put your? But now we literally pick up our phone, use our name, call a stranger to come pick us up and drive us somewhere using our credit card. Right. You know what I mean? Like the culture has changed so significantly, and people don't care because people don't think beyond 48 hours anymore. They don't think beyond convenience. I think that might be the best way to phrase that, is that people don't think about consequences. People don't think about ideas. They retroactively do that. They're like the TSA,
And it's like one of those things too. It's like the internet's supposed to be where we all have our own voice. Honestly, in the country that we live in the United States, for us, you are supposed to be able to have freedom of speech. But yet, if your freedom gets in the way of someone else's freedom of feeling safe, then you kind of are in this boundary of like, well, what the fuck? Your offense, or you being offended, gets in the way of my freedom of speech because you don't like what I'm saying, even though I'm not attacking you as a person. I'm just stating a fact.
The best way I could put it is that we live in a world of asterisks.
Yes.
Where it's like, yes, we have all these laws that protect our freedoms, but at the end of the day, it's like they do, but they don't.
Right.
It's like, we have freedom of speech until you hurt someone's feelings, and it's shit like that. And there was a post I saw once where I actually got to a point where we maybe need to hold the people being offended to a higher standard than the people who are apparently offending others, because we understand that a lot of people who have, people can go on the internet and realize who have the shitty opinions, like, the West Baptist church and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, people aren't necessarily going to defend them.
Like, if you're spreading hate speech, we get it. That's like, everyone knows what hate speech is.
But you need to be a fucking adult about it.
Right.
You can't sit back and go, I want free speech, but these guys say something I don't like, therefore free speech is bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just,
and then
you need to learn that if you're going to be willing to say your own shit and say what you want, even if it's not offensive or mean, you still have the right to say it.
And
these people should have the right to. Yeah. And you also have the right to be offended, but that doesn't make you right. You being offended or you disagreeing with somebody does not make you right. It doesn't make you, and we can break it down to the way we talk about movies. It's imagery and stuff is all subjective. So at the end of the day, if you're offended, maybe you should look at yourself first. Why was I offended? Why did this word hurt me? I'm half Mexican. If somebody called me a spick, it really wouldn't piss me off. It really wouldn't. I'd be more like, they would say it derogatorily towards me, and I get to make the decision if I'm going to be offended or not. Right. At that moment. And I'm going to go more, is this guy saying this aggressively to me? Because A, now I'm going to wash my hands of this person, or B, am I in danger? I should leave. Yeah. Being offended, it's like, well, okay, this guy's fucking stupid, so I'm just going to leave.
You can get offended from everything, though.
Exactly.
Anything,
but that's what I'm saying.
Voice. Like, someone could tell you that they love you and respect you, but if you say it in the wrong tone of voice, they could attack you. Like, that offends me. Or that's sexual harassment.
Or like saying like, oh God, I actually got into that with somebody the other day. Some random dude on the internet didn't like me I think I was making fun of Aquaman or something and saying like something was really stupid. And the guy came at me and he goes, I don't even remember what he said. It was just like, oh, God, I can't even remember. I really can't remember. God, I wish I had the conversation, but he was a psychopath.
You should just start dropping him links to our podcast.
Well, the thing was is that he was just like, oh, well, you're just like pandering to certain people and blah, blah. I'm like, I'd pander to you, baby. Just like being an asshole.
Yeah.
And he goes, that's sexual harassment.
Okay.
I go, oh my God, that's that person. There we go. And I go, you're a fucking lunatic. He goes, no, you sexually harassed me. And I go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Yep, these are the people that live in this universe now. Like, I'm sad. Dude, this is a half the reason why I don't have kids.
John,
like,
John. You can sexually harass me whenever you want, baby.
Well, don't worry. Well, it's not sexual harassment if we both want it.
I mean, it depends. How much money do you got? How much money can I get from you?
sugar daddy, sugar baby. Hey, man, I'm the only guy who actually wants to talk to you on multiple hours, on a multiple day, on a multiple everything, and I don't have boobies. Well, I kind of do. No, it's just I wish people would. Self-awareness is the biggest problem lacking in our society right now. It's like me, it's like I always had this idea that like I understand that I'm a little bit of a lunatic, like that I'm over passionate about these things, but it's because given my background, this is what I wanted to do for a living. This is what I went to school for. This is what I wanted to do, and I use this media to make myself happy at the end of the day, which lately doesn't seem like it. But this is the stuff I do, is enjoying pop culture and reading stories and being uplifted. I told Hannah, I was like, storytelling has been one of the oldest arts in human civilization. Even before civilization was a thing. Fucking cavemen drew pictures in the caves to tell stories and share images. And somehow we forgot that maybe storytelling is important, because whether or not it's fiction or nonfiction, those are written with the base ideas of morals and society and the time you live in and your life experiences and biases and all of that stuff. You learn a lot of stuff about culture and time and all that shit. And storytelling is important, and people have really, really neutered it and really actually gotten to a point where they almost villainize people for holding people to a standard, like to a higher standard of creativity. And it's kind of pathetic that people just don't really see the fact that they are kind of absurd, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, people are just so off base lately, and I don't know how to, I don't know. Sometimes I just get really animated because I'm so frustrated. But as you can tell, the last two podcasts, I've kind of dialed it back because, like I said, Endgame broke me.
Just
and
like
Game of Thrones was the
though,
nail in the coffin.
Just like anything, like in movie reviews, in talking about politics and talking about religion and talking about anything, even talking about having kids with people, everyone's opinions are going to be completely different. They're all going to be different. And one way or another, I could offend you and I could not offend you, or I could fuck your mom or something. So, I mean, it's like,
are you my daddy now?
It's one of those things where in society these days, people just gotta loosen up. And I'm not saying be like, we were in the 90s, because in the 90s we were still fucked up. Be like we were in the 80s. No, we were fucked up. We were always fucked up. But we don't have to be this culture, this society that is like butthurt about every little thing. Yeah. And
watch No Country for Old Men, dude. Like, that is a perfect example of, like, everybody acts like the world is so dangerous. It's always been dangerous.
It's always been dangerous. We just have more outlets to give us the information of what's going on.
But in the world of superheroes, since we got off Batwoman, Gambit, the X-Men Gambit movie that was originally going to be helmed by Channing Tatum has been officially scrapped.
Oh, okay.
It is dead. The spin-off drops off
Disney
the
has it now, so of course they're kicking all that shit to the curb.
Yeah, but why not just play it? You're going to put out Dark Phoenix. Fuck it. Why not just put out that dumpster fire?
Well, they didn't shoot it. They shot
they haven't
Dark
even
Phoenix.
started it.
No, they didn't even start it.
Okay.
Because there was always so many timing issues and shit. They never started it.
Nobody wants a fucking Gambit movie. Get out of here. If we were going to watch that, I want a Rogue movie. And really, with the X-Men coming, I hope they kill off Captain Marvel. Let Rogue take her powers like she did in the fucking comic books. But in better movie news, 20 years today, well, not necessarily today, but this year, The Mummy, starring Brendan Fraser, has turned 20.
The original? Or the first one, I should say? His first one?
The Mummy.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Mummy. I fucking love that movie, dude. I love that. The second one I liked, but for more of the B-movie twist of it, because The Rock looks like fucking garbage in it, and The Scorpion King is a fucking terrible, terrible B-movie that I love, like, with everything in my soul. Because Michael Clark Duncan was in it, and Kelly Hu might be one of the sexiest women I've ever seen in my life.
I watched the first Scorpion King, and then I tried to watch like all the stupid other ones with the different actor.
God, don't do that to yourself.
I did it to myself for the first two, I think. I think there's like 3 or 4 now.
Those are damn near unwatchable, dude. They're brutal. They are very brutal. I mean, The Rock is just whimsical, dude. The Rock, you can get through a movie just because it's endearing, regardless of whether or not when the credits hit, you're like, wow, what a piece of shit. You're like, but I love The Rock. He's so cute and he's got big muscles. I wish he'd hug me. But fuck, dude, The Mummy, like what a great show. Like, was so good. Brendan Fraser's amazing. Rachel Weisz is so fucking sexy. Oh my god. Oof. And the whole storyline and like the character stuff is great, and obviously the CGI is whatever, but man, it's fucking 20 years ago. What do you want? 1999? Shit was a year that was like when the prequels came out, when episode 1 fucking came out. Shit was great. It was good. I love it. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. 20-year anniversary. Go watch that shit. That movie's fucking brilliant. Brendan Fraser, I love you. Like, keep doing stuff. He's in fucking Doom Patrol now. He's half the reason why I want to watch it. The cyborg character in this looks so much better than all that bullshit in Justice League.
Oh yeah,
You're talking to a guy who loves the Teen Titans cartoon. Like, I fucking love it unconditionally. It's so brilliant. And then they made Teen Titans Go, and that's how I knew Teen Titans was a good show, because Teen Titans Go is a fucking bullshit thing that it's like, I don't understand why people want our kids to be stupid. Is that a thing? Like, I don't have kids, but
Teen Titans Go. Yeah,
I'll kill you. Do not defend this movie.
I don't like it. There was one episode that the kids were watching, because the kids watch it, because it's kind of like their version of what they're gonna get close to Animaniacs, I guess.
Nonsense.
But they did the one episode that I really liked because it made fun of itself when they had they were like, this is what we used to look like, but then this guy made an alternate world and changed everything, and they showed like the original Teen Titans cartoon characters, like praising them and how come we're not as cool as them and shit like that. That was the only thing I liked about that show, was they actually acknowledged that they were better before.
And that makes me hate you, because I literally believe I made that comment for Endgame. Of course we got back to Endgame, where I said, you demeaning your own plot and pointing out how stupid your story is, but does not make your story good.
So it's a little different with them.
No, it's not,
yes.
Michael. It's writing. It's bad writing. If you understand that your story and your aesthetic is fucking dumb, it doesn't make you self-aware. It makes you a pandering dickhead. You had a better episode. You had a better show.
Yeah.
Why are we not getting Young Justice, season 5 or Teen Titans?
I'm sure they're
gonna
do those cartoons
but we got those
better on the DC app if they get back to it, of course.
Again, I just you always move forward. You always talk about the next thing they're gonna do. The next thing. It doesn't matter what the next thing is. Michael, we could be dead in 3 months. We could be dead in a year. We could die today. I could go walk outside and get hit by a bus. defending something with the
Then
idea
just
that
have
something
hope
better will
that
come along.
if you do die, they're going to
Nonsense.
be better.
Nonsense, Michael. I'm like I'm staring into I'm like staring very intently into the face cam, like 1,000-yard stare because my soul is crushed. It's this idea of that do not defend something that sucks now.
I'll be honest though, with
as some way that like in the future we're gonna
with
get
Teen
something.
Titans though, dude, I barely watched the original show, so I have no reference to go on how good that one
but-
was or anything.
Well, then go watch it and learn it. And
Where
be
is it
versed
that I
and-
can? Well, I can probably find it.
It's
online,
it's a
so.
Cartoon Network show. It's
Is it?
Yeah, it's a Cartoon Network show. It's great. It's literally probably one of the top 10 cartoons out there.
Mm-hmm.
In general. Like, I could probably give you a list right now. I would say Hey Arnold. I'd say Hey Arnold,
I
Rugrats.
never liked Hey Arnold
You know,
or Rugrats.
we all make mistakes. Hey Arnold, Rugrats, Doug, maybe I'd put on there. I don't know. Whatever. Teen Titans, Avatar, Airbender. Maybe put Korra in there because Korra is good, but I feel like you need Avatar. You don't really need Korra.
Right.
If you really want a strong female character, you get those in Avatar, but her being the lead in Korra kind of helps. And they do some like lesbian love type stuff towards the end, which is kind of cool. I mean, that's good pandering, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know, like maybe some of like the original 90s Turtles, I think is pretty good, just so you can have a...
I think it got
kind
a
of a
little better after the first movie came out.
Yeah, it's a bit of a barometer more
Yeah.
than really an actually good show. I
Right.
would tell people it's not necessarily a good show, but it's a good barometer to see where Saturday morning cartoons kind of came from. Because they kind of encompass kind of the way like Transformers and G.I. Joe and all that shit was.
Mm-hmm.
I really do think they're not necessarily the actual cartoon, but the cartoon movies for G.I. Joe are fucking awesome. I don't know about the show itself, was kind of rough, but the actual like G.I. Joe movies that they put out, like the cartoon movies that were like, I think there was 2 of them. They were really fucking stellar. I would say, gosh, for other cartoons, I mean, Earth's Mightiest Heroes is really, really good. Avengers, before they did Avengers Assemble. I mean, that's not terrible, but the Earth's Mightiest Heroes is just so much better. Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, those are fucking brilliant. Watch those. The Flash is incredible in that shit. I love him so much. Batman's always a fucking Batman the animated series,
Yeah.
the original 90s animated series. Like, come on, dude.
Did you ever
can't-
watch the Static Shock cartoon?
I like that show. That
Did
was a
you?
really good show. Yeah, it was a really good show. I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, I mean, if you need a nice African-American superhero, there you go. Nailed it. Like, he's great. He's a teen. I would argue he's like the Black Spider-Man for a cartoon. Like, he's great.
Right.
You know, he's got a good fledged character. He's got kind of a weh power, but like they make it work. And his costume's kind of gay, but you know, yeah, show's great. Show's good. Static Shock, it's a great show. Go watch it. It's great.
Yeah.
Freakazoid, a little weird. Animaniacs, bring it back. No, like I remember the old renaissance of cartoons. If you want something kind of like weird and demonic, not demonic. More like almost like a LSD trip. Fucking Ren and Stimpy. That shit was weird, and I really loved Rocko's Modern Life.
Okay, yeah.
That's a good one. And I mean Simpsons, dude. Simpsons are fucking timeless. There's a reason why that show's gone damn near 30 years. Like, that shit is great. Watch the fucking Simpsons. Treehouse of Horrors every year for Halloween. That shit's incredible. It's all good shit, man. It's good shit. Watch good cartoons. Watch smart stuff. There's no reason to not watch and read good things. Learn to read, people. That seems to be a big problem. People can't fucking read.
The funny thing is, like, compared to the cartoons that are out now, the cartoons that we grew up on, I feel actually taught more lessons.
Yeah. Well, the after
But-
school specials. I mean, think about like when we grew up with TGIF and shit. Thank God it's
Yeah.
Friday. Like with like Sabrina and
But
Urkel.
like,
and-
the whole
Family
reason
Matters.
that like a lot of those shows ended up disappearing from back in the day was because they initiated some like learning program within children's programming.
Yeah.
And so you got all that content taken away, and then you had a lot more shit like Barney kind of spurred out more and shit like that. Like kids, not necessarily Barney. I'm saying programs like Barney came up more. You got a lot more of that shit nowadays than we had.
Give me an example of that though.
So like Dora the Explorer came up around that time when they started getting away from like the goofy cartoons like Animaniacs and shit.
Yeah.
And they were trying to initiate the program has to teach kids something.
Because I was going to bring up that and Blue's Clues.
Yeah,
I totally get
and Blue's
that,
Clues.
But I mean, but you're really going to put Barney on
No,
the
I'm just saying like a
a
children's program. I didn't mean Barney itself. Because
'Cause I was
Barney's
gonna
been
say,
around for fucking ever.
Well, because you were also talking Barney, but then you lump in things like, because I would put this on the same pedestal. Is you got Barney, but then you have like Mr. Rogers and Reading Rainbow. But you also have to remember those were public access shows.
Yeah, those
were
ones
PBS shows. So of course they were going to kind of do that stuff, like with Bob Ross and shit. Those
But I'm
were
talking like where Nickelodeon, they took a lot of they had a lot more entertainment content, and then you saw that start to drop down, and then you get more Dora, Diego, fucking cars talking to each other for
I don't know about dude.
Shit.
You are really reaching. Like with Dora, and then Diego was a spinoff of Dora, so a boy could have his version.
Right.
And then you had Blue's Clues. I really wouldn't put that in the same realm.
Blue's Clues was earlier though. Blue's Clues was more.
But still, it's the same formula.
Yeah.
Which it's really hard to put those in the same category.
It's hard
as
to
old
explain,
PBS
like,
stuff.
because I don't let my. I'm a bad dad.
Yeah.
I don't let my kids watch this shit, so it's hard to like spout off like certain names that I've seen like just grow up. Where
those were like its own category, because I really don't think that many really exist. Like there's some that kind of like
a ton.
But I'm saying there's some that maybe like break that fourth wall thing, because I don't know if like Peppa Pig did that kind of shit, or like
I don't know about that.
There was other kids and stuff like they did meta shit, but like we're still doing that now. Like, you know, and I wouldn't even be surprised if we could find an example of it back in the day. I don't really know, but there's a difference between these kids like having a storyline like help me find this versus like reading Rainbow. You're actually reading a book and he's doing real life shit. I was talking more the
animation. I was talking more the animation, not like reading Rainbow and all that stuff, because that was like live. Those were people there. Like Wishbone, fucking Wishbone was cool.
Ooh, I love Wishbone. But I'm talking more like the way that they were giving stories and essentially they were trying to be educational, and interactive.
Yeah,
that was kind of what they were trying to do.
It kind of sprouted out a little bit right around the time when I think it was Teletubbies started going away.
Oh yeah, oh my god.
And then you got a lot more of that within your cartoon format. So
yeah, I could see that. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, no, I could see it. It's a little bit of a stretch, but I totally get it. Yeah, and if anything, they evolved
look at the content that's out now, especially like if you have a kid and you have like Nickelodeon on or some shit during the daytime, like the school daytime when your older kids are at school. Yeah, there's so much of that content. Like I'm like, are parents just shoving their kid in front of the TV so that their kid tries to learn right there? Because that's not going to necessarily teach them.
Not even learn.
They're
shit. Not. I don't even think parents are even trying to teach their kids anything. They're trying to distract their children.
Like,
I mean, there's nothing more disgusting to me than I'm like working in a store and I see parents giving their fucking phone to their children.
Yeah.
Like we're talking like 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds holding an iPhone in their shopping cart.
Or they have they lay down in the cart and they have like a full-fledged iPad.
It's disgusting, dude. And I'm like, and I'm sorry if I'm accidentally like.
No. You're good.
It's important to me because again, like I don't have kids, but I have nieces and nephews, and my dad is so good. My papa, he's fucking awesome, dude. Like he's like going to a fucking museum, dude. Like he's got like it's like Hobby Lobby exploded in his fucking house when those kids come over, because he helps them build slime and he takes them out to the garage and they build shit and they swing and they go outside and they do all this really cool shit. And then I see kids on their fucking iPads and shit in fucking Walmart while the parents are shopping. It's like, this is a really good time to teach kids how to take in their surroundings and learn to not have anxiety. Like, they got to learn to like take in a bunch of noise and nonsense around and be aware of your surroundings and have situational awareness and spatial. This is a good time to learn spatial recognition, like, you know, like things like that. Because like these days, like, fucking cocksuckers, dude, you drive through a parking lot or down the street, people don't even look left and right anymore, like, to cross through a parking lot when a car's coming. They don't even do it. And we're talking like people my age, or like 18
they're too
or
into
19
their phone
year
and shit, or whatever,
or not
device
even
they
that.
have.
No, they're so shitty and self-absorbed that they're like, well,
The car's gonna stop.
they have to wait for me because I'm a pedestrian. I have the right of way. It doesn't matter if you have the right of way, dude. At the end of the day, if the car hits you, guess who's gonna win? The car.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you were right or not. You're gonna die or break a leg, or like, we teach fucking 5-year-olds to look both ways before they walk. And then apparently when you grow up and turn fucking 15, you turn into a fucking retard. Like, it's just it's a disgusting de-evolution that we are witnessing.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest technological advancements in the last 2 decades. It's insane.
What's
People are fucking
interesting
dumb.
too is, and it's sad, I see people with kids and then with animals and kids at the same time. And their animals, they care more about disciplining or taking care of their animal than they do their kids. And it's like, your kids should be a lot easier.
People who talk about their animals like their children, you're a psychopath. Unless
they don't have, if they don't have kids, that's fine. Whatever.
I don't know, dude. Like, they're animals, they're pets. Like, I don't understand. Like,
yeah, I mean, but I can see
you can love
the
them.
same...
You can love them unconditionally and these things like that. But like, us sitting at a dinner table talking about your animals literally to a point where they could almost sound like the way my sister talks about her children. It's fucking weird, dude. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like,
to that extreme, I could see so.
You know what I mean, though? It's like, my dog has Xanax, or like they take a...
But for some people, that's all they have, dude. That's it.
But, well, I get that. I totally get that. And like I said, like, it's obviously a perspective thing. But for me, as a guy who doesn't even have children, I can't even get Xanax. You know what I mean? Like, I have anxiety and shit, and like, these people are giving it to their dogs. It's a fucking animal.
Yeah.
Like, I get like, okay, like, shit gets a little weird at July 4th. You know, a lot of explosions, and it can be really creepy to an animal that doesn't have perspective. I get that. But when your dog's a piece of shit the rest of the year long, what's your excuse then?
Right.
That you're just a bad owner? That you're, you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know. Like, the whole Pitbull thing. Like, they're dogs. They're dogs. You treat a dog good, they'll be fine. Yeah. Oh, but they're naturally aggressive. No, that's horseshit. That's all horseshit. It's all horseshit. Animals are gonna bite you from time to time. Like, I'll bite you. You piss me off enough. I'll punch you in the face. It could be very uncharacteristic of me, but I'll punch you in the face if you piss me off enough.
Yeah.
An animal biting you once or twice is not a.
It's the same.
That's not bad raising. That's an animal being an animal.
To me, I feel if you're gonna
children bite
and
you,
again, it's with kids too. Like, if you're gonna discipline a kid, learn to discipline your animals so they don't become like that. So they're not assholes. And then
I don't want to come to your
too, the way you're gonna talk about your animal or treat your animal, where you're like, here's a nice plate of fucking, meatloaf for your dog. Feed your kid something healthy too. Don't just give them here's a thing of French fries from McDonald's that they're probably too fucking salty for you. You're 3 years old, but you're gonna have a heart attack because here's all this fucking salt. Oh, here.
Oh, I'm gonna get you a Happy Meal that has a kid's dose of sodium for 2 weeks.
My
But hey, they put apple slices in it, so you're good.
Right.
Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, this is half the reason why, like, I've had a real problem. And again, this is because I work in a lot of retail stores lately, multiple ones, and like, the people you see having kids look like more of like, ooh, was that an accident? Or, ooh, we really don't want that gene pool moving forward. The people not having kids, and I'm not lumping you in there because you obviously have already had your children years ago before this horrible pandemic is going through. The smart people aren't having kids. Smart people aren't doing it. And they're like, well, how so? I go, because they understand that money is tight, that the economy is fucked, that you don't get paid parent leave. You don't have the medical resources to do this stuff. At least, of course, you're not having children.
At least 75% of the time, though, dude. Like kids, you don't get pregnant on purpose most of the time, unless you're truly trying. So about 75% of kids born are not mistakes. But
yeah, I'm fine. I'll say
it's like
they're
accidents.
accidents.
You know, shit happens.
A whoops baby, you know.
So I mean, both of our kids were, you know. She took out both of our kids. Like we didn't plan on having our second kid. She took out her thing so she could donate eggs, so we could pay our fucking bills.
Get some money. Yeah.
She just got pregnant. Whoops.
Bummer. Yeah. A whoops baby. Well, I mean, I hate to out my girlfriend's family, but you know, my girlfriend's like 32 or whatever. I'm gonna take an age off just so I don't feel like the young one. But the older sister is like 2 years older than her, but then you have the youngest one who's like 6 years younger. It's like, obviously that was kind of a whoops.
Right.
But like, you know, she's awesome and she's great and we all love her unconditionally, obviously. But at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, what do you do in that moment? You're like, oh, well, fuck. And then, but like for people like me and Hannah, like I think she'd be a great mom. I think she would be a fan. I mean, she fucking babysits my ass every day. Like I'm a fucking loser. You know what I mean? I'm talking to some random dude on the internet talking about movies like a dickhead. Like I know something. You know, it's like, but if we had a kid, she'd be great. And you know, me, I'd be definitely limping through it. But at the end of the day, you know, we'd be pretty good.
Oh, come on.
Parents.
You would be pissed off if you guys had a kid. You'd be like, that's my woman. Where's my time?
Well, but seriously, I am a selfish dude. That has come up in topic. It's like, yeah, no, I don't want kids because I love the idea that I come home and the very few hours that I even get for free time, if I'm not working on a project outside of my day job, I get to devote to her.
Right.
Like, and I want to devote everything I have left emotionally or romantically or, you know, anything, or even intellectually, anything that I have or any problems that I have, I want to talk to her. I want to be with her. Yeah. And that's also why we don't get married. We don't have this paper. We make a choice. We make a deliberate choice every day, whether or not we want to be with each other. And we've even had contingency plans where like, we had a joint bank account for a few years, and then we got away from that because it was a fucking pain in the ass. And I have like copious amounts of debt, so I was like, well, it'd be smart if somehow my accounts get frozen or if people start to garnish me or shit like that. They don't take her money. Right. You know what I mean? Like, even though we're together, we still earn our money. It's our money, but at the same time, that's my fucking paycheck. Yeah. I'm the guy who got up at 1 a.m. and worked a 13-hour day. And if I want the extra $200 to go buy a fucking shield for my costume, I'm going to do that. Or, but like if she makes a fuck ton of money, you know, it's like, yeah, go buy yourself a present. Go buy yourself, you know, whatever you want. Don't tell me what you make. Yeah. You don't need to do that. You don't owe me that. We've been together forever. That's fine. That's your money, dude. You're the one who has to go to work retail, which I would never want to do in my entire life. And you deal with a bunch of bullshit. That's your money, dude. If you want to buy a coffee or a fucking sandwich from the fucking cafe because you're having a rough day, fucking go do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't need to tell me what you're doing with your money.
It becomes one of those things too, because in a relationship, money is one of those things that causes the most fights, the most everything, and that's
but money runs the world, dude.
Yeah,
money runs the world, and that's the hardest part. Like, you're gonna get lost in it, and like, you know, every now and then, her and I have to have those moments where we sit back. Okay, so how much do you have, and how much do I have? Because I fucked up, and I did something really fucking stupid, and now we have to try and figure out how to fill that hole that I made. But we both have, we both had debt, but I'm the fuck up in the relationship, obviously. But we have to have those discussions. It's like, yeah, I'm going to need your paycheck this week to help me out. Is that cool? But then, 6 months later, it's like, her dad wants to do something special. So I'm going to throw like $1,000 at her dad to make sure everybody can get a plane ticket to go see each other. That kind of shit.
It's, you help each other out. That's what a relationship is. Marriage or not a marriage.
Teamwork.
It's a team,
teamwork.
I mean, if you can't help each other out, then what's the fucking point?
Exactly.
Then you're just fuck buddies that share a house, It's and
at the end of the day, if you guys are doing it just to do it, fucking people with marriage, and you're talking to a guy who's a photographer who does engagement photos and wedding photos. And
right.
It's just like, why are you doing this? Why? Is the wedding important to you, or are you just doing it to have the party, or are you just doing it to have the photos, or what are you doing? Like, my favorite thing is one of the guys I used to work with. He actually worked on the first 2 movies that I ever did, and he does wedding stuff now. He's actually fucking brilliant. He's actually really, really good at it. But he's one of those template guys that kind of everything looks the same. But they look like trailers. They're making trailers to a wedding thing. And I sit back and I've told Hannah.
Lots of people do that now.
And I've told Hannah, I go, who the fuck is that for? Who is that for? I don't get it. Like if you and Nikki had one, are you going to pull that out every year and watch it?
So
you look like a dickhead.
I did I did a wedding teaser before I edited our wedding video together, but this was over a decade ago now.
So you made that video. Who was that video of, and who was it for?
Which one?
The one you're talking about right
So
now.
I made a little wedding teaser for our own video, just for the fuck of it, for family. Because, and that's it. And I posted it to the YouTube and sent the family the link to it so they could all watch it. Then I just found it again, and I realized like how compressed the file is and shit when I posted it to Facebook the other day.
I would love to see that, first of all. Second, I go, that is completely different.
Yeah.
But
I also used a lot of
you.
I used a lot of stock footage too from like other things in our life. So there's like a tank and shit, and it's fucking awesome, actually.
But what I'm saying is you made that.
I made it for myself. I didn't pay someone to make me a fucking
and you get to
trailer.
show it to her. It would be like the thing if I made like a video of like, hey, it's our 11 year anniversary. Yeah. Here's a video I made of all our pictures and videos and stuff that I've had on my phone for the last 20 years. Right. You know what I mean? Like, that's different. You didn't go out and hire a dude to literally make a trailer. Like, how fucking pretentious and shitty is that?
The only reason I could see that being valuable is if you're famous. And you want to pop that. No, because you don't want to put your whole wedding online, but you can be like, here's a little trailer of our famous wedding of like,
fuck
whatever.
You. As the person making it, you look like a douchebag, and the people who want to absorb that, you're pathetic. Like, why would I care about Beyonce's fucking wedding? I don't care. I don't even care about my own wedding. Right. Like, what the fuck? Like, pictures totally make sense to me. You want pictures because you're going to look at that image and you're going to go.
And I told my brother that too, like, because I did the photos for my brother who just got married a couple of years ago and his wedding. And I told him, look, the photos are going to be better than the video. The video's not going to hold up in a couple of years anyways. Yep. And at least the photos, you guys can print them out. You can have them blown up to however big you want.
You can put them in your wall. You can put them in your wallet.
Yeah. You can post them on Facebook, Instagram, wherever the fuck you want. You can edit the shit out of them. I edited a few for him.
Well, in 20 years from now, if you have kids, you're going to have pictures to show off. Like I remember,
outputted them to the highest DPI for him that is available at the moment. Yeah. So it's like all you have to do really is later down the line, if there's a higher DPI later, pop them into Photoshop and output them again.
Yep. No, it's just like this day and age has shown you that people think they're way more fucking important than they really are. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So yeah, I mean, fuck. So okay, so your brother was who? What now? Wait,
All right,
what?
yeah. So the photos I was doing for that I was just talking about was from my brother Kenny, and he's the one that listens to us. So shout out to him.
Oh
And,
yeah, fucking bro! You better be on my team.
Apparently, he's
Fucking hates
been
me,
listening
probably.
to the end game in like hour increments.
God damn, you better be.
But he's also been PRing for us up there, telling everybody at his work and shit to listen to us. So
I still do feel like an asshole because I did make up a couple of things in the endgame thing before the time skip, before the time jump 5 years later.
what's that?
Which did make me look like an asshole. Well, like, because, I hated the fact that Captain Marvel came and got him.
Oh yeah.
Which, it would have just been nice if they could have figured something out, or like if Thor or Rocket would have figured something out, or
It moves the story
whatever.
along faster to what we needed.
Yeah, it's fine. But I did make up like the thing like, well, maybe Pepper can come get him, and I'm like, oh yeah, shit, she didn't have the rescue armor because we didn't do the 5-year jump yet.
Yeah.
I did that like on like 2 things, but again, that I would maintain that's the movie's fault because it's so disjointed. I don't remember when anything fucking happened in that fucking thing, and it doesn't really matter. You could point and click and restart, and it was dumb.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway,
But
somehow I got all the way back to Endgame.
all the
Yay,
way
first
to
circle.
Endgame.
Way to go, John.
But
you
yeah,
fucking
so
retard.
let's close it out, dude. This podcast has been about what? Freaking everything.
Fucking politics, cartoons, end games, and
See, guys,
Fuck.
we can talk more than just movies and shit. So
music. Fucking music.
we should do a whole cast on music. And I think John.
Nicki Minaj is annoying, but goddamn, she's so fine. Oh, I love you. Nicki Minaj, I love you. Hey! Okay, well, you know what? Again, always gonna say,
Yeah.
writing matters. Think about writing. Always, the theme song or the fucking quote from me will always be, know why you like things. And when you know why you like things, go out and learn a little more. It's always important.
And again, I said this on the last cast too at the end.
Yeah.
Don't let mediocrity win in anything, any form of fucking entertainment.
Yeah.
Don't let them get away. No, I take that back. In anything, just in anything.
it.
Don't let mediocrity win in entertainment, in government, in your fucking relationships.
Yep.
Just fuck it.
You're shooting. Don't shoot towards the middle, dude. Like, everybody in this day and age knows now what is good and what is bad because we have very extreme examples on both ends. So have some fucking higher standards for your life and for the people that you decide to let be in your life. There you go. There. Fucking wise words from an unwise person. You are welcome. So yeah, for me, Michael, you're the best. I heart you, buddy. Thanks for still coming back.
I heard
again.
you too.
All right. Well, fucking later, nerds.
Thanks for tuning in to another great episode of Operation Babble. You can catch this episode and more at soundcloud.com/Operation Babble or iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, and Google Play at Operation Babble or YouTube at Mike Shrews, MYKE SHREWS. Have a great day, guys. Peace.